Is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, go back to 31 across the DFS industry, and this video snuck up on me. I was literally like planning out my Sorare video tonight, which I love, so make sure you check that out. MLS preview if you're an MLS person. But like, oh my god, Champions League tomorrow. And if you can like see back there, if you hear somebody snoring, it's the kid passed the heck out. So anyhow, if you can't tell, if this is your first time watching the video, you're just like, this is getting off the rails quick, which is the best way to do it. So quick reminder, like, subscribe, comment. It's going to be under 10 minutes, so let's just jump right into it. So Bayern hosting Salzburg, that is where we're going to want to spend all of our money. We're going to put all of our attention, because on the front end, first off, I guess we should just mention second legs, right? So what the teams did in the first leg is super, super important. So first leg, 1-1, meaning Bayern need goals, and Bayern is not going to be satisfied just one goal. They want 2, and I would even argue 3 goals, and they could have scored all that and more on the first leg, just struggled finishing. So I think for most people, the first 2 clicks in your lineup is going to be Lewandowski and Kimmich. Kimmich on monopoly of sets. Lewandowski is Lewandowski, or if you ask Thomas Miller, is Lewandowski. And then just the second forward position, the fact that Liverpool is is up 2-0 in aggregate, despite being home at Anfield, I think they're going to be a little bit more pragmatic on their approach, maybe attack on the counter. I think the likes of Mane, Diaz, or Salah are fine for GPP, but I think in cash, optimal, and even just some higher end GPPs, you're going to do second forward is going to be a Bayern piece. Now, Kingsley Coleman absolutely smashed Salzburg on the first leg, playing as like a left wing back. It'll be interesting to see how they lined up. If you look at Sofa score right now, they have Lucas Hernandez at left back, and they actually have Coman out. I don't know how they could do that, unless I missed an injury or something, because again, this snuck up on me. But I would assume, it's either him or Sane or Muller is going to be your second forward to go with Lewandowski. Now, if you want to be different, drop Lewandowski, make 2 others, make it like Sane and Coman, or Muller and Coman, or Muller and Sane, something like that. But I think for the most part, it's going to be Lewandowski, other Bayern forward. So that's the top end, and you're not going to have much money after that. I think if you look at the Salzburg side, there's not much there. They were severely outpossessed on the first leg, and being in Munich, I don't think that's a good recipe. But, Andreas Ulmer, if we don't see Seewald or blanking on the other dude's name, could be interesting as a cheap fullback. He's not going to be able to hurt you too much. And realistically, I think you're only going to be able to spin up in one other spot, whether that's Liverpool fullback or that's like Çalhanoğlu or yet another Bayern. That's completely up to you. So yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think a huge part is Manuel Neuer being back. I think it's going to be massive for Bayern. He orchestrates so much on the back line. We actually saw Bayern struggle not only with Red Bull Salzburg, but also domestically while Neuer's been out. Just proving kind of how important he is, especially as a sweeper keeper. There's very few guys ever like Manuel Neuer, so I think that's big. I don't know if that's going to make me want to go and pay up for him. As crazy as this sounds, I actually think going with the Salzburg keeper is going to be potentially very popular. Not only did he mash in the first leg, but he's just going to see so many shots. This could be a situation where he allows 3 or 4 goals, but gets like 8 saves, and you go, man, I paid up for Neuer, he conceded 1, he got me 7 points. I could have played the guy for 2,000 cheaper that conceded 4 goals and outscored Neuer by 2. Like, that could happen. So, goalie per usual is like one of the last things in. A popular strategy I've always mentioned here is start with the cheapest goalie, build your entire lineup, and if you get to like the final 2 spots and you're like, man, I don't like anything, well, now let's just play with it, see if you can make yourself give yourself a good goalie, and doesn't matter. By the way, if you can hear the snoring in the background, what happens when you're 3 years old and you just play it a ton with your grandma. But yeah, I think that covers it. The fullbacks, whether it's Pavard, Lucas Hernandez, none of them are going to attack too much, so they're not priorities. They're fine, but not priorities. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing they did in the first leg, where Serge Gnabry and Coman were wing backs. I'm trying to think. Other point I want to make on that: Serge Gnabry is actually going to find himself really underowned, because I think so many people are going to go Kimmich, going to go Lewandowski, and then one of the Munich forwards. The fact that Gnabry is not forward eligible is going to be big. So if you want to differentiate using Gnabry, and then maybe punting off a forward like Latoro, Dzeko, or maybe go a Liverpool guy, that could make you different. All right, moving, so not much in Salzburg. You know, it's like Ulmer or cheap punt. You know, let's look at that lineup, see what happens. Salzburg can rotate a lot. For Liverpool and Inter, first leg 2-0. Liverpool doesn't matter; they're both both away because the away goals are gone. But you know, Liverpool, I don't think has any, like, I would not be surprised. Here would be my guess. I think Liverpool just come out, balls out, guns blazing, first 20, 25 minutes, capitalize on Anfield at night, see if they can get a goal to really put this to rest, and then they just kind of settle into the game. That would be my guess on kind of how this gets attacked. Could be completely wrong, but, you know, I've seen Liverpool do that a number of times. But, you know, they are going to be a little more pragmatic. You're probably not going to see Robertson and TA fly as far up the field as they normally do, unless Inter just kind of rolls over and plays dead, which does not seem likely. But that's the only time that, you know, I think that you would really see that. I'm assuming Klopp's giving them instructions like, hey, I want you guys to attack. You're still some of our best attacking outlets, but don't let Perisic or Dumfries or, you know, watch Dzeko, watch Latoro. Let's not be crazy here. I have seen at times when that's the case, Robertson in the past has been the one that takes a little bit of the, not blame, but more defensive responsibilities where he doesn't bomb as much forward, but they split sets. So, you know, if one sided corner gets the other more than the other, then, you know, that one's going to cross more. We have seen TAA recently, crossing numbers way down. We're not seeing like those 17 cross games. So just keep that in mind. I guess all this is going to me and saying, as crazy as it sounds, because Liverpool, you always just play the fullbacks. I think Bayern is more of a priority than Liverpool fullbacks. So I think that could be a way to differentiate. Then I think that I kind of already went over this on the Bayern part, but Salah, Diaz, or if it's Jota, I think it'll be Diaz and Mane are GPP. Alisson, you know, is fine. I actually think Alisson might not be a bad play at all because he should be pretty busy. With Inter having to get two goals minimum here. Okay, so that's Liverpool side there. Okay, I think Liverpool's more GPP. I think Çalhanoğlu is actually a really good cash play. 6,200 is like way too cheap for Monopoly set pieces for a team that needs 2 goals. It's kind of like, you know, Kimmich on the other side. It's just like way too cheap for what the role's going to be. So yeah, Çalhanoğlu I think is the cash play. Dumfries and Perisic, okay for cash, not like mashes, but they should be attacking. And then Dzeko, Latoro coming off of a hat trick, should be feeling pretty good. Dzeko had like 2 goals and assists in that route. So I think those are fine for GPP, but again, cash, optimal, second Bayern forward. I think that's it. Don't really have much else I want to say. You know, I think that like these like punt values, just watch lineups. I wouldn't like, so many times when people join FSI and like the first time in chat, they get really preoccupied by like final spot 3,500. Like I can't mess this up, and it's like, you know, the actual answer is probably just results. It's like there's not a. I had a question what was like a night or two ago on like one of the showdowns, and it was like I'm trying to think how it was like 4,500 or less. Who's the best play? And there was like one guy that was already in the core, and I'm like, no one. Like I don't mean to be mean, but like nobody's a good play. It's center backs. It's central line defensive midfielders. Like I'm sure one of them is going to be the better play, right? Like I know that, but there's not a process behind it. It's just going to be kind of like who gets the random shot, who gets the random assist. Like there's no process behind it. There's nobody down there that has sets. There's nobody there's just a winger that's going to cross the ball a ton. So sometimes you just have to go like, hey, here's a random guy that's starting and he's a winger, and hey, I hope you do well. Like sometimes that's just the answer, and there's not really a process behind it. It's just kind of what this like gives you. So, all right, anyhow, hope that helps. Under 10 minutes, as promised. So, hope you enjoyed the video. The snoring wasn't bad, or the hybrid engine wasn't too bad. Sorry, once again, wasn't thinking. No hardwire, AirPods, but you should be able to hear. That'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, like, subscribe, comment, and last little plug. Freaking love Sorare. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably see that. Love DFS, of course, but DFS, like, you know, once you play a lot of soccer, like, comes second nature. So awesome, great NFT soccer game. Really focused on MLS for it. Gonna have an MLS recap of the weekend coming up later. So I'd love if you check that out. Like, subscribe, comment there. If you want to sign up, use my code. It really helps. It's on the bottom of this. Be the bottom there. Feel free to reach on Twitter if you have questions. At Gator Guy 231 and on Discord. That'll say. See you.